power goes out. I look around in the darkness, not knowing what happened. There are no storms outside. I look out the window, and there are lights nearby. I stand up. Or wait, do I sit down? I don't know my placements in this blackish landscape. I begin to breathe shallowly. The air feels thick and dusty. My throat is swelling, but it's just fine. My eyes begin to throb, struggling to make out shapes in my home. My feet are numb. It's as if there's no floor to stand on. I take a step forward, but I don't feel like I've moved anywhere. Somewhere, I hear a footstep. It came from above, not below. Maybe the walls. I can't see any walls. Are the walls still there? A footstep. There it is again. I shout, but my voice isn't heard. I yell for someone to turn the lights on, and there's no response from the dense, empty space. I start to move rapidly, placing what I believe to be my feet in front of one another in succession. I don't feel movement. Then I can't move. Something is blocking my feet. Where my feet are supposed to be. I think it's my desk. I don't know if it's my study. I don't know where I am. I hear more footsteps. This time they're close. They may be right behind me. I can't tell for sure. I spin around to face what I cannot see. I wave my arms. Red everywhere. Red sky with red air, with red earth, but I can still see. Muddy structures ooze with dark liquid. A figure stands before me, and it's blackness once more. I feel the space around me closing in, but I'm in the opposite side of a funnel of sorts. I feel the vertigo effect while staring at the void funnel. I fall back. My fall is cushioned by the air or the ground. It's all the same now. The figure walks up to me and looks down. It's black. It's red. It's white. It's every color. It can be seen and it can't be seen. My mind spins in circles all while it remains still. Past the figure is a tall pillar. I can see the top as if I'm looking down at it while I'm laying on the ground. The world is upside down and right side up. Then I'm staring through the tunnel once more. Flashes of a woman, flashes of me as my house, flashes of my family as my house, flashes of my house as my house. A little voice tells me, relate to the circumstances. This all makes sense. I feel my way down the funnel of the tunnel. I cannot actually feel the walls as they're not there, but I know they will guide me. The figure is getting further away. My head blurs and becomes fuzzy. I'm floating. I'm flying towards the figure. Now the figure stops. A loud noise plays. I'm reminded of an organ. There's a train going around the organ. Each train car is a little race car. I cannot see these things, but I know they are there. I see the organ train. I know that I must travel back. The organ is getting louder and louder. There's a small room with a small black ball that's pulsating with every note. The ball gets bigger. When it pushes up against the wall of the room, I'll disappear. I must leave. I open my eyes and stare at the ceiling. Little glow-in-the-dark stars illuminate my imagination. I'm in my bed. In my room. My sheets are damp. My head throbs. I'm dizzy, despite laying still. I get up and go to the bathroom. I walk towards the door. It opens up for me. There's a black hooded figure next to the door, and I hear him say, I'm gonna get ya. He drags me. He gently takes me by the hand. I'm clawing at the carpet to get away as he pulls my feet. I'm walking next to him down the hall. The stairs are arriving. I begin to tumble with him down the stairs. I'm being dragged down the stairs. My head throbs. I'm going to throw up. I open my eyes to stare at the banister. I'm laying in the middle of the staircase on the main level of the house. I feel a dog watching me from the corner of my room. I know it's a dog simply because I know it's there. It's black, it's soaked in slime. The dog walks over to the armchair in the corner of the room. A voice behind the chair whispers, Hi. I walk back to my room. I crawl towards my bed. I pull the covers over my head. I know they're not here. I tell myself, it's because you're simply 5 years old. You read too many scary movies. You watch too many scary books. The world throbs. I just want to be healthy again. Never before in my life had I been so utterly consumed in darkness like this. Sure, lights would go out or night would come, but this deafening darkness was different. It was as if I was formless within it all, sequestered in the baseless superiority of sound nothingness. I could feel the death of dreams, hear their everlasting cries and pleas as they were devoured relentlessly to aid in the birth of the horrors escaping my dying brain. They were beautiful. God, they were so beautiful that it was painful even to witness their resurrection. The ebony surroundings were like poison. I could feel its tendrils worm into my pores and grip with the singular shining piece of hope that I had managed to retain within my decaying heart. He had done this. He had damned me to a place where he knew I could never survive, a place that solely reminded me of the one he had stolen me from originally. That sick bastard knew just how to dig and twist into the likewise abyss that occupied my chest. My screams aided the blackness, producing puffy clouds of shade filled with the agony of abandonment that burned in the depths of my small intestines. I could feel wet heat drip down my face, collecting underneath my chin before dripping down my neck and the slight raise of my chest. I screamed louder into the silence, desperate for the warmth of that disgusting liquid. The freeze of the darkness was overwhelming. It groped and clenched in my lungs. Its nails scraped the soft inner linings of my shrieking esophagus. It was like I could feel something taking shape in the tenderness of my womb and clawing its way out into my limbs and organs. My cries were unending, shattering the silence with humanity, something that purgatory was lacking horribly. No other action seemed appropriate. I just wanted something, anything to hear me. My screams stopped suddenly. The hot liquid filled my throat and my mouth to the point where I began to choke. No longer could I let any sound out but struggling sobs and coughs. The syrupy lava sputtering, splattering from my muzzle. I couldn't have begged harder for it to stop. The metallic, salty mixture scraping my taste buds numb and useless. Static filled my eyesight, finally coloring the deadly black with flecks of gray and white. I choked out a noise of joy. I can see, oh God, I can finally see. The shreds of my heart flew, my sight able to formulate the scene before me. I paused once my eyes adjusted. It was mortifying what I saw. Fingers wriggled playfully in front of my eyes, a hand moving to try and wave the best it possibly could from what seemed to be an unnatural position. My throat clenched, attempting to let out a scream. My muscles rapidly contracted and disbanded. I sputtered and gagged, gasping for air through my clogged airway. I had to regain my composure before I could realize the real reason that I could no longer speak. Sprouting from behind my teeth was a long, pale arm. It was lined with somewhat flawless skin besides strips and trails of red. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was no way this was possible. It had to be some sort of nightmare. My eyes watered once more at the pressure in my head suddenly blossoming. It focused even more and more and more and more, my brain crushing against the top of my skull once the piercing sting of a shoulder blade caressed my tongue. I sputtered a laugh, feebly sinking into the delirious sense of whimsy. I could feel my mind melt into a static agony. My throat expanded to make room as a large, round shape forced its way through. I heard my jaw snap as the crown of a sphere peeked past my lips. My vision was swallowed up into the white before I felt my body rip in half from mouth to middle. It was blissful feeling, really. I fell, slumping to the ground like a sack of tissue and meat, unable to move. My organs played between my split form, and my blood painted the ground delicately like an abstract painting. It was beautiful. I was beautiful, just as those dreams had once been. The soft glow of a newly born individual slowly died from my sight. I could feel them stare at me with a clossed grin. It was muffled. Everything was muffled, but I could hear them enough as the darkness closed in. Their voice was raspy, just as mine had been in my screams. Their voice was exactly like mine, actually. I heard their laughter. I heard their delight at my death. I heard their teasing.
One of us has to make it, don't you think?